I love talking about Caitlin Clark on this show, and she participated in some kind of LPGA Pro-Am, drew monster crowds. There's pictures of just like everybody trying to get an autograph with Caitlin Clark.
That frustration you just heard, it's echoing through social media, sports bars, and reportedly inside WNBA front offices right now. Because what happened at Pelican Golf Club wasn't just a Pro-Am event. It was a marketing masterclass that exposed the WNBA's greatest failure in handling their biggest star. And according to sources close to the league, WNBA insiders are absolutely furious about being publicly embarrassed by a completely different sport. Here's what nobody's talking about. While Caitlin Clark was drawing massive crowds to a golf tournament, the LPGA commissioner was praising her as incredible. Nelly Korda was celebrating her, and the Golf Channel literally changed its broadcast schedule to show her live. Meanwhile, the WNBA handed Clark her Rookie of the Year award in a nearly empty arena with almost no fanfare. Let that sink in. A golf league treated basketball's biggest star better than her own league did. If you believe the story behind the story matters, smash that like button. It tells us we're on the right track. The numbers tell a brutal story. When Caitlin Clark declared for the WNBA draft, ticket sales surged over 90% compared to the previous season. In her rookie year with the Indiana Fever, she averaged 19 points per game, became the first player in league history to hit over 100 three-pointers and dish 300 assists in a single season. Analysts immediately labeled her a generational talent. But here's where it gets interesting. Her impact wasn't just statistical. It was cultural. Fever games became major events. Fans traveled from across the country just to watch her play. She brought an entirely new audience to women's basketball. Television ratings skyrocketed. This should have been the WNBA's golden moment, their chance to ride the wave and build something unprecedented. Instead, they fumbled the opportunity so badly that another league had to show them how it's done. Fast forward to the Pelican Golf Club. The LPGA didn't just invite Caitlin Clark to their event. They orchestrated a promotional masterpiece. They paired her with world #1 Nelly Korda, creating an instant headline about two generational talents from different sports meeting on the same course. They had tournament host Annika Sorenstam, a legend in women's golf, playing alongside Clark. The Golf Channel adjusted its entire broadcast schedule to show her round live, something they've never done for a Pro-Am event.
Caitlin Clark's golf debut just made me so upset with the WNBA and because the LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season.
You know, I love talking about Caitlin Clark on this show, and she participated in some kind of LPGA Pro-Am that drew monster crowds. There's pictures of just like everybody trying to get an autograph with Caitlin. That energy, those crowds, that media attention. The LPGA didn't just stumble into it, they planned for it. They recognized what they had and maximized every single moment. Fans packed the gallery from her first tee shot at sunrise. When she drained a long-range putt, social media exploded with clips and commentary. After her round, she was mobbed for autographs. National sports outlets covered the event like a major championship, and through it all, the LPGA treated Clark like the superstar she is. Now here's where the story gets uncomfortable for the WNBA. Reports suggest that league insiders are livid, not just about the LPGA's success, but about their own failure to capitalize on Clark's celebrity. Multiple sources indicate that some WNBA players feel overshadowed by Clark's crossover appeal. League officials are frustrated that they're watching another organization demonstrate exactly how to promote their biggest star while they're stuck explaining why they didn't do it first. Think about the contrast for a moment. The LPGA welcomed Clark with open arms, gave her a world-class experience, paired her with their top star, and turned her appearance into a must-watch event that generated massive publicity for women's golf. The WNBA? They let her get physically targeted throughout her rookie season, downplayed her achievements, and handed her the league's top individual honor in front of a nearly empty arena. Many of you have been saying this for weeks. The WNBA had lightning in a bottle and somehow managed to dim the lights. When Angel Reese broke the rookie double-double record, when she became the first rookie with an All-Star Game double-double, when she had consecutive 20-rebound games, the league celebrated those achievements properly. And they should have. Reese is transforming the game. But the inconsistency in how the league promotes its stars has become impossible to ignore. The LPGA showed that you can elevate one superstar without diminishing others. Nelly Korda didn't lose any shine from sharing the spotlight with Caitlin Clark. If anything, having Clark at the event brought more attention to Korda and the entire LPGA Tour. That's how you grow a league. You take your crossover star, you amplify their impact, and you use that momentum to lift everyone. Instead, the WNBA seems paralyzed by old habits and outdated thinking. They're cautious when they should be bold. They're hesitant when they should be aggressive. And now they're watching the LPGA write the playbook on how to market women's sports in the modern era, while WNBA insiders reportedly stew in frustration over their own missed opportunities. Here's what makes this situation even more pointed. Caitlin Clark isn't abandoning basketball. She's training hard during her first offseason. She's fielding interest from the new unrivaled 3-on-3 league. But her golf crossover raises a legitimate question that's making WNBA executives uncomfortable. If other sports are going to treat her better, celebrate her more authentically, and give her the platform she deserves, why wouldn't she explore those opportunities? The LPGA demonstrated something crucial at Pelican Golf Club. They showed that when you have a genuine superstar, someone who can transcend their sport and attract mainstream attention, you don't play it safe. You don't worry about offending other players. You don't minimize their impact. You showcase them. You celebrate them. You build your marketing around them while simultaneously elevating everyone else in the process. And that's exactly what the WNBA failed to do. Drop a comment right now. Can the WNBA recover from this marketing disaster? Or has the LPGA permanently exposed their incompetence? Let's keep this conversation going, because what happens next could reshape women's sports forever. Let's connect some dots that league officials probably wish would stay disconnected. When Caitlin Clark showed up at Pelican Golf Club, she wasn't just playing golf. She was demonstrating her market value outside of basketball. And that value, it's staggering. The event drew crowds larger than many of the LPGA Tour's marquee tournaments. Fans lined up before sunrise just to watch her warm up. Social media engagement during her round exceeded what most WNBA games generate during the actual season. The LPGA commissioner didn't hide his excitement. He called her performance incredible and praised her genuine love for the game. Annika Sorenstam, one of golf's all-time legends, perfectly captured the moment and made sure Clark felt welcomed and celebrated. This wasn't hollow corporate speak. This was authentic appreciation for someone bringing fresh energy and massive attention to their sport. Now compare that to how the WNBA has handled their generational talent. Throughout her rookie season, Clark faced unprecedented physical play that often crossed into dangerous territory. Multiple incidents resulted in head injuries. The league's response, largely defensive and dismissive. When fans and analysts pointed out the targeting, they were told it was just playoff basketball, just competitive intensity, just rookies paying their dues. But reading between the lines reveals something else. The WNBA seemed uncomfortable with how quickly and completely Caitlin Clark was dominating the narrative around women's basketball. Rather than lean into that momentum, rather than make her the face of a league desperate for mainstream recognition, they pulled back. They emphasized collective success over individual stardom. They highlighted other rookies and veterans, which is important. but they did it in a way that felt like they were actively trying to prevent Clark from becoming too big.
Like they did everything they could to sabotage their own league. And yeah, it backfired. For me anyway, I think it's hard to argue that it didn't completely backfire for them, because Caitlin Clark is more popular than ever.
Like they did everything they could to sabotage their own league. And yeah, it backfired. For me anyway. I think it's hard to argue that it didn't completely backfire for them, because Caitlin Clark is more popular than ever. That's the reality the WNBA is facing. Their cautious, often contradictory approach to promoting their biggest star didn't protect the league or create balance. It just made Clark even more sympathetic and even more valuable. Every time she faced rough play without adequate protection from officials, her fan base grew more devoted. Every time the league downplayed her achievements, the contrast between her impact and the recognition she received became more obvious. Every time they treated her like just another player, the absurdity of that position became more glaring. And then the LPGA came along and showed everyone how it should be done. They didn't worry about whether celebrating Clark would overshadow Nelly Korda or diminish other golfers. They trusted that showcasing genuine talent and authentic star power would lift everyone. And you know what? They were right. The attention Clark brought to that event benefited the entire LPGA tour. Korda gained exposure to Clark's massive fan base. Other golfers got more visibility. The sport of women's golf received media coverage it wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Sources close to the WNBA suggest that this success has created serious tension internally. Some players reportedly feel that Clark's crossover fame is pulling attention away from basketball. League officials are frustrated that they're being publicly schooled in marketing by a sport that has historically struggled even more than women's basketball for mainstream recognition. The optics are brutal. The WNBA had every advantage, every opportunity, the perfect storm of talent and timing, and they squandered it so completely that golfers are doing a better job promoting their basketball star than the basketball league itself. Let's filter out the noise and focus on what this really means. The WNBA is at a critical crossroads. They can either learn from this embarrassment and completely overhaul how they approach star power and marketing, or they can double down on their current strategy and risk losing relevance as other sports figure out how to capitalize on crossover appeal. Because here's what's becoming clear. Caitlin Clark doesn't need the WNBA as much as the WNBA needs Caitlin Clark. She's already proven she can draw massive crowds in multiple sports. She's already demonstrated that her personal brand transcends basketball. She's already shown that she can thrive in any competitive environment where she's properly celebrated and promoted. The question isn't whether Clark will be successful. The question is whether the WNBA will be part of that success story, or a cautionary tale about a league that couldn't recognize and nurture its greatest asset. We're getting into speculation territory, but multiple sources are whispering about serious discussions happening behind closed doors. League officials are reportedly reevaluating their entire marketing strategy. There's talk of bringing in outside consultants to help them understand modern sports promotion. Some voices within the organization are pushing for a complete philosophical shift toward embracing individual stardom rather than resisting it. But here's what makes this situation so precarious for the WNBA. Every day they wait, every opportunity they miss, every event like the LPGA Pro-Am that demonstrates what's possible, they lose credibility and momentum. Clark's first offseason is already proving that she doesn't need to wait for the WNBA to catch up. She's building her brand, exploring opportunities, and letting other sports show her the respect and platform her own league hasn't consistently provided. The unrivaled 3-on-3 league is actively courting her. Golf tournaments are lining up to have her participate. Brands are fighting for partnership opportunities. Meanwhile, the WNBA is stuck explaining why they handed their Rookie of the Year award in a nearly empty arena while a golf tournament threw a celebration that drew national media attention. You were onto something when you noticed this wasn't just about one event or one crossover appearance. This is about a fundamental failure of vision and execution. The LPGA saw an opportunity and seized it with both hands. They didn't overthink it. They didn't worry about internal politics or whether other golfers might feel overshadowed. They recognized star power, they celebrated it authentically, and they reaped the rewards. That's not complicated. That's just smart business and good sports promotion. The WNBA's response to all this will define the league's trajectory for years to come. They can acknowledge the failure, learn from it, and dramatically change how they approach marketing and star promotion, or they can continue defending their past decisions, minimizing the significance of what the LPGA accomplished, and hoping that Clark's loyalty to basketball will be enough to overcome their repeated missteps. If you want to stay ahead of this story as it develops, and trust me, it's far from over, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because next, we're breaking down the financial implications of the WNBA's marketing failure and revealing exactly how much money they've left on the table by mishandling their biggest star. You won't want to miss it. Here's the bottom line that WNBA insiders are grappling with right now. The LPGA didn't just host Caitlin Clark at a golf tournament. They delivered a masterclass in how to promote women's sports in the modern era. They showed that authenticity, boldness, and genuine celebration of star power aren't threats to league parity. They're the foundation for growth. The WNBA had every chance to learn these lessons themselves. Instead, they're learning them by watching another sport do it better. And according to sources, that realization is causing serious soul-searching and no small amount of fury behind closed doors. The question now isn't whether the WNBA made mistakes. Everyone can see that. The question is whether they'll have the courage and vision to fix them before their biggest star decides she's better appreciated elsewhere. Time will tell. But if the LPGA's success is any indication, Caitlin Clark has plenty of options. And the WNBA better start treating her like the generational talent she is before another league does it for them.